Good morning, and thank you for attending Police Headquarters. My name is Constable Carolyn DeClute, and I am here today to introduce Detective Sergeant Joanne Rudnick of Sex Crimes. She will update you on a sex assault that occurred on Friday, May 22nd, 2015. Detective Sergeant?
Welcome to Police Quarters, and thank you for coming. Police are seeking the assistance of the public in identifying a man wanted for sexual assault and forcible confinement. On Friday, May 22nd at approximately 2:30, the victim, a hired cleaner, had occasion to be at a home for sale in their Deepwood, Crescent, and Greenland Road area. This is in the Don Valley Road and Lawrence Avenue area of the city. The suspect knocked on the door and was allowed entry in order to view the home. The suspect attacked the victim and sexually assaulted her. The suspect, startled by the sound of a door closing, fled the scene. The victim was able to exit the home and call for assistance. The Sex Crimes Unit would like to release the following composite drawing that has been completed. This suspect is described as male white, 5'8", thin build, mid-20s. He had red straight hair that flared out at the ears, and he was wearing a faded orange shirt that was ripped at the neck, cut-off blue jean shorts below the knees, and black shoes with white lettering. The Toronto Police Service is requesting members of the public, and specifically real estate agents that may have been in the area at the time, to contact us with any information you may have concerning this case. Anyone with information is asked to contact police at 416-808-7474. That's directly to the Sex Crimes Unit, or by calling Crime Stoppers, which is 416-222-TIPS. Although we do not release the particulars of the assault, I can tell you that this case is alarming, and we need the public's help in order to solve it. If the suspect himself is watching, I ask you to get a lawyer and turn yourself in. You know what you did. Go to any police station, and I will have my investigators there to speak with you. Thank you. Any questions?
Were there any injuries to the woman physically? Obviously, mentally, probably quite distraught. But.
Yes, she did sustain some minor injuries. She was transported to hospital. She received medical care and then released.
You said he's wanted for forcible confinement. Can you give us a rough estimate of how long this assault went on and how long he was in there?
This assault wasn't over a long period of time. It was right over a shorter period of time, but it was interrupted, as I said.
Can you maybe give us an idea of how long?
No.
So he approached, he knocked on the door, and he made himself out to be someone who was interested in looking at his house that was for sale.
That's correct.
Did the victim say she was at all apprehensive in letting him in? He has a ripped shirt. He didn't, by his description, he just doesn't look like someone who would be looking at houses.
Well, there was a short conversation between the suspect and the victim. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but following that conversation, he was allowed into the home to view the home.
Can you talk just a little bit about why you're interested in speaking to real estate agents who are in the area?
The house is currently for sale. It's in a beautiful area of the city, as we know, and I believe that real estate agents would be very interested in that location and in looking and being around that location on that day. 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday, I believe that it's very feasible that real estate were in the area, driving in the area, and I want them to take their mind back, look at that composite, and if you have anything that you can add to this case, give us a call. If people or members of the public are afraid, for whatever reason, to come forward, they don't want to get involved, but they may know something, then call Crime Stoppers. That's what Crime Stoppers is there for. You do not have to give your name. You do not have to identify yourself in any way, but give us the information. This person, this is a sketch, needs to be caught. We need to arrest him.
Is there a concern that he may strike again, especially with other houses up for sale in the area potentially?
In any situation like this, that's always a concern for us as police officers and as investigators. My investigators have been working all weekend on this case because that is a concern. And that's why we get in front of the media, we talk to you, we release the composite sketch in order for those tips to come in quickly so that we can get on those tips and hopefully get this person arrested.
Any specific warnings for people who have their houses up for sale and may have other cleaning ladies or may live in the house themselves?
You know, I would just ask the members of the public, you know, should you find yourself in similar circumstances, to be very diligent in who's coming to your door and who you're allowing in. That's going to be your decision at that point. But just remember that, you know, we live in a beautiful city, in a safe city, but unfortunately, incidents can happen. And this is where this victim found herself on Friday afternoon.
Are the homeowners still living in the home?
No.
So the victim was cleaning the home on behalf of the real estate agent, is that right?
On behalf of the owners for it to be ready for sale.
On behalf of the owners?
Yes.
Okay. Do police believe that she was targeted and that he maybe saw her go to the home, he knew very well she was alone in there?
Certainly, that's a part of the investigation, in tracking down that type of information that would be very interesting to us. Don't have any specific information at that time with respect to that, but of course, that's an angle that we are looking at.
Do you know if there was a marked vehicle in the driveway, like a clearly marked cleaning vehicle?
I don't know.
Have you had any cases or people who would fit this description in the past, or any kind of similar assaults?
We have a crime analyst that works in our unit. She's very diligent at her work, and that's part of her job. That's one of the first things that she did this morning, is looking at that, and at this time, no.
So this may be the first time that he has struck.
Could be.
Any other questions?
Did he have a particular mode of transit?
I'm sorry?
Did he walk, or did he?
We don't know. That's, again, any information, anyone in that area that can assist us with that, that's the kind of information that we'd certainly be interested in. You know, and some people may think, well, I only know a little bit. Maybe I'm not sure if it was him. Call us anyways. We'll do the investigation. We'll find out if your tip is actually, it ties into the investigation or it doesn't. Don't you make that judgment call. Let us make that judgment call. We have the answers. We have the investigation.
What about other residents in the area?
Other residents in the area have been very helpful up to this point. We've done a lot of work. Again, as I said, my investigators have been working all weekend on this, 33 Division as well. We've had officers out and canvassing the area. The neighbors have been very good. Obviously, they're very alarmed by this, and we would ask them as well to think back. Again, this composite sketch, take a look at it and give us a call.
Was he armed at all?
No.
What kind of home was it? Was it detached, semi-detached, bungalow?
It was a fully detached bungalow.
And there's no, I mean, I can pretty much bet on the answer to this, but I have to ask, you know, there's no indication that the victim and assailant knew each other
No.
in any way?
No.
Okay.
Can you just take us through the dialogue again at the front door? How's it all go?
I'm not going to give the specifics on the dialogue itself, John. I'm just going to say that there was dialogue at the front door. After that dialogue, he was allowed in order to view the home.
Was there any reluctance on the part of the victim to let him in at first?
Yes, at first.
But he talked her into it by the sound of it.
They had a conversation.
What was it that alerted him that there was some noise outside?
We're not sure. There was a sound. It startled him, and then he ran off. So we're not sure what that sound is. Could it have been a car door? Could it have been something slamming a front door? We're not sure at this point. But something startled him.
Is there any home security surveillance video of any of that neighborhood showing him walking around?
Part of the investigation that we're doing is obviously to canvass 4 types of video. Right at this point, we have some, but we're still looking into that.
What kind of advice would police give to people who would find themselves in the position that the victim was in? Like in this case, she was alone, she was cleaning a house that was getting ready to be sold or to be seen by potential buyers. It doesn't strike me that it's her responsibility to let people in to see the house. That's the job of a real estate agent or the owners even. What advice would you give to someone who does the kind of work this woman does, or anything like it?
Well, again, as I said before, I mean, you have to make your own judgment call at the time. You're quite right. The real estate agent could have been contacted, lots of things, and we certainly don't want to appear that in any way that we're blaming the victim for her actions. There was a conversation, and at that conversation, she opened the door, allowed him to see the home.
I just want to be clear, this is not some just because the house was for sale. This could have happened at any moment, right?
Oh, of course, you know.
This is not somebody who's targeting the house is for sale.
Now, the fact that the home was for sale and clearly signage for sale, I'm asking real estate agents that would have been in that area, and that's specifically what we're hoping to glean from this media conference, that real estate agents in that area, they would have been in that area, would come forward and give us that information.
That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending. Did you want this further?